on Friday.
What's good? Just waiting on Dan to finish scanning, and then we're good to go. That's a bit long. What's good, babe?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Yeah, man, it's good. I'm also like way ahead of you on the social media posts, so I
That's the
already
one,
sent
dude.
stuff out and stuff. So
Give me. Oh, hang on, bear me a minute.
no worries, man. Take your time, baby.
Okay, that is fine. I'll check that out in a bit. Okay. So yeah, all good. I'm just gonna get ready to do oh fucking hell. Oh man, today has been I did not know today was gonna be long, but here we are.
Oh lord.
And before it's ready, you know where hot vodka is like sniffing tips. My mate Abe's just said.
Nice.
You know where you should drink. Oh, I just said Hubsteg. That's apparently a word now. That's the thing. You know where you should drink it?
Nice.
On twitch.tv/OfficialReaperUK and hang out with me and Ryan, summing up our year on Twitch. There we go.
Just gonna
Do
pop it
that.
into Discord channels as well and just literally harass everybody I know.
Oh fuck yeah! Just get everyone in and just be like, yo, 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 if you are free, we're wrapping up our streaming year and having a chill little chat between me and Ryan about 2020 on Twitch. Feel free to just vibe with it on if you want. Smile. And then Twitter TV for the video. By the way, are you the one person that's in stream at the moment? Because I can't tell who's in.
Yes. That would be me. But I am no longer the one person because it's now gone up to 2.
Oh, okay.
Bugged.
There is someone else. Someone else has decided to show up. I think that might be Abs.
Probably.
I
adore the permadeath tag, by the way. Like, I've done the same.
Not do that. I will never not do that. Every single time I do like an IRL stream, right? Yeah. Or like
it's
any time that I do a just chat and stream, it's like the characters in a game, you know.
Yeah. We may just die during the stream, and if we do, we ain't coming back. It's fact.
It's true. I'm gonna leave a hint one day, and I'm gonna do an obscenely cringy, like, real life lore stream where someone comes in and kills me, and just because I haven't tagged it with permadeath, I'm gonna just rise up from the grave.
Oh man,
that's
awful.
That's the way to do it, man.
I love it. I also put no backseating on mine. Make sure nobody's backseating our conversation, you know.
Well, that's the way to do it, man. I have accepted my mortality for what it is, so I don't really care about having to put my permadeath thing on there. But if you want to live forever, just stream on Twitch and don't tag with permadeath, and you're invincible.
As long as you die during your stream, you're Gucci. If you die outside the stream, you might be screwed, but if it's in stream, you're sorted.
You die for real. I'm just gonna put this over to everybody. Stick that to your man, and then
what now?
Pass that over to Kathleen, and then pass that over to George, and then pass that over to Zena. I'm just hitting every motherfucker with it.
Yeah, man, for sure.
But yeah, what have you been up to today, man? What's been going on?
I spent the last 2 hours attempting and failing to do the Platinum Relic and Stormy Ascent, because that level is an absolute nightmare. I mean, it's literally designed to be an absolute nightmare. But the most frustrating thing about it is, at this point, I've gotten 95% of it down to a science, and it's like, I'm getting through that probably like 60-70% of the time. And then it's the last 5% that keeps killing me off, and it's driving me mental. Especially because it's like a 3-4 minute level.
What level is it again?
Stormy Ascent. It's the DLC one, the one that was removed from Crash 1. I've got the gem on it, and that's fine. Honestly, the bit that I had the most problem with that was the bonus level, because that bonus level is very tight.
It's basically a puzzle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of, like, if not frame perfect, close to frame perfect jumps, and like you have to spin boxes out of sight of or off screen basically to make it across to the last set of boxes. Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
That's pretty nasty. Holy shit. Last thing I'm going to do before we get chatting about this is I am going to inbox or put it into the comment section of the cat thing that we put in.
Yeah. Sounds like a show.
1 second. About that. If y'all are free, we're wrapping up our streaming game and having a chill little chat to me around. Feel free to just come on and vibe with it if you want. Sorted. There we go. And then just checking on messages to see who is able to come in and who isn't.
Cool.
Yeah, boy. Hit that one. And sort that. Sometimes just on the late in. No trouble. Responded to boy. He's ill. Kathleen's hopping on in a bit. Who else is kicking around? David. Once I've done David and like 2 or 3 more people, will just get chatting away.
Cool.
So
What
Veit.
about yourself? What have you been up to today?
Oh, dude, fucking hell. I did not expect to get busy, but we got busy, man.
Bro.
Um,
Where do you work again?
well, at the moment, I'm just kind of helping my folks prop up the house, aren't I?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and I did not for 1 minute think. I did not for 1 minute think I was going to get as busy as I did. Holy shit. I was, I had a big sleep, and I was like, oh, I'm vibing with a big sleep, and the only things I had to do was throw some stuff onto, I had to load up the van because we had one last dump trip worth of stuff to do. We had what's going to end up being the sunroom, that's attached to our kitchen. I had to basically organise that, and I did that, and I was thinking, right, that's done. Only other thing I've got to do now is do some orders, and then fucking everything was just like, okay, the second I sit down to eat that, it's like, okay, I need a lift with this, I need a hand with this, this needs to go to here. Is there any chance that you'd be able to get this part out and that part out? And it just slowly just kind of built up, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm here for the day now. I might as well just crack on till 5. So my dinner tonight has been toast and an omelette, which I've literally just necked before stream, as is my usual stream schedule.
Yeah. Nice.
And then between that, obviously, the Reaper post to tell people that we've been doing it. 2020 had been a whole ass thing.
Oh, yeah. It's been a year.
Did that, checked in on some folks, sent off an order, and then announced the raffle, which is going to be tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Okay. You said that was. Have you decided yet whether that's going to be Facebook or Instagram Live?
It's definitely going to be Instagram Live. I cannot.
Yeah.
Facebook's live. Usability is absolute ass.
Fair.
Because even though you can do it in landscape instead of portrait, none of the comments show up.
Oh Lord. Yeah, that's a thing.
So I basically have to see the comments come up on stream. By the way, like in OBS, you can watch yourself stream over on the right, but you've also got the game on the left, and you can kind of just dot and dab between the two.
Yeah.
Right. On a Facebook live chat, when you have a phone that specifically has an area to display comments, why on fucking earth do I need to have 2 separate devices to do that? And why is it worse to stream from your laptop and look at the comments on Facebook Live on your phone than it is to do it the other way around? Why do I need a laptop to look at a comments section? It's so stupid.
Christ.
So yeah, I've simply decided to fuck that off.
Yeah, entirely fair, mate. Entirely fair.
Oh, yeah. Even if we don't get any major viewers, I think I might need to bring this up a little closer to the thing. Yeah, that's about as much as I'm getting out of that. Even if we don't manage to get too many people in stream today or anyone, I'd like to just keep this just for the VOD.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Put up, so I'm not right. Oh, okay. When did we start doing this? I genuinely don't. Was it like I started in April? I know that much.
Just streaming in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started. It was just after September. So why don't you talk about sort of your journey on Twitch, like what you've done from April up until now, what you've streamed and such, and then I'll do my bit kind of thing.
Okay, so the vibe that we originally went with was basically everything, like right up until we started work on Stranger Than Fiction. We kind of had various shows across the week where I was basically trying to stream 5 nights. Not 5 nights a week. That was in September. Yeah. I was trying to stream just twice a week. And in the twice a week, the 2 week streams that we were doing, one of them would be a gaming stream, and one of them would be like a music stream where I'd stream me playing like rhythm guitar parts.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, the music streams would do really, really well in the parts where I was playing a through section from beginning to end. The actual arrangement, the writing, the process, me talking about that process, almost never did well. And I think that's just down to the fact that Twitch predominantly is a gaming platform. And the more and more we talked about it, we were like, well, it doesn't really make sense for us to be continuing to do music streams on here. So let's just make this a gaming stream place. And let's just do the music behind the scenes of Twitch, but in the forefront of social media.
Gotcha.
And we kind of made that decision when it came to summertime, and we started piecing together Stranger Than Fiction, because it was like, okay, this needs a lot of attention. And while we can probably still manage to do a lot of the stuff that's coming out of this then EP, you know, we can only really do 2 streams a week. So we ended up doing the Pokemon streams, which went to shit because I lost my first proper run when it got to around about, I think I got like to like the second or third run in.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't game anymore, so I'm gonna take some time away. And I was gonna move on to another games when you and I started doing Fall Guys Fridays. But then after that, it was like, I don't have the time for this. We've got to do, we've got to do the album. But in between all that time, it was weird. You know, we saw like very, very low numbers in the first earlier stages of Twitch. But whenever we like did an event, like the listen through of Falling Off the Edge of the World and the listen through of the entirety of the Mob Rules album that came from, that did really fucking well.
Yeah.
And all those like event streams do so well. And it reminded me, because it was weird, right? I started streaming from my PlayStation 4 every now and again whenever I wanted to, because I'd started up a Facebook page, which name I cannot remember. There's something really fucking stupid like No Lives Left or Beach Ball Bass Drops. I think I might have tried both of those, which were just horrible,
yeah, I remember the second one.
Horrible names.
I remember that one. It was something.
I went and did that, and while I was on there, what'd you say, sorry?
I was talking to Mikey. Worry about it.
Oh, okay. I remember doing those, and those streams get between like 7 and 10 views, 10 viewers in. And I was like, this is doing really well. So I was like, I'm surprised that these streams don't get more. But then when we got affiliates and we started going like, oh, we need to keep doing this because this is doing super well. Now I'm pretty used to seeing the viewer count go up to anywhere between 8 and 10 or 11.
Yeah.
But I equally wouldn't be surprised to see if like don't get me wrong, double figures, right, for an affiliate that does this predominantly to push his music and to tell people like what's going on in their lives and what's been happening, just general chit chat with the fans and things.
Yeah.
Is not fucking bad.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And now it's gotten to a point now where I'm like, I really enjoy doing this. Like, this is a lot of fun. I won't be able to do it as much next year, I don't think, because we have got so much shot to set up. Well, we've basically been spending 2020 setting up, or clearing everything that was latent project stuff of the table from January through to like March. That's kind of the jam that we've got, and then from there, we're basically just like, we want to just creatively stoke ourselves up again for whatever release comes after Stranger, and you know, I don't know what's gonna happen there.
Yeah.
But I know that I will continue streaming. I just don't know how often.
Gotcha. So like, what started you streaming? Like, what was the inspiration to kind of kick it off as a gaming and/or music stream?
The lockdown, like without a doubt.
Yeah.
To initially start doing the streams, like when I very first did them, I was just like, well, I just like having my friends come into the stream. I'm not really asked if there's like 4 or 5 viewers or even 2 or 3. I was the reason I started Twitch was because like, well, the first couple of streams that I did was exclusively to have a couple of mates and be like, yo, I'm playing some Dark Souls, do you want to just hop in and jump in chat and just chat away with me while I play?
Yeah.
That was it. Like, I just like, I was messaging them on Facebook and I was like, I fancy playing a game and I'm gonna be sat here messaging you for like the next hour and a half. Do you want to just talk about it on Twitch?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a loaded question because, to be honest, I already knew that, but I think it's a good discussion topic because it's really interesting how, you know, a lot of people have started up this have started up this Twitch thing and live streaming on other platforms as well, due to the lockdown. I think it's really interesting how those kind of online social aspects have become a lot more accepted in kind of the general public. Because, you know, there's that whole meme about millennials are always on the phones and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, now everybody has to socialize through things like that. So I think it's really interesting how COVID and the lockdown has probably largely changed the public perception of like online socializing, even for people who were previously against it.
For people our age, I'd say the same, but I know firsthand that most people who are middle-aged and things like that and see this, they still very much see this as just, you know, grown man sits behind PC chair and plays video games for 10 people, and, you know, and I think very strongly that is a very stupid opinion, to be quite honest.
Oh, absolutely.
Down to the fact that it's like, I was like, do you have any idea how much money this makes? Like, you know, I've raised, like, we as Reaper have raised now. If we take our like £125 contribution from the stream that we did the other week, right? So 125 quid from that. Every single charity stream we've ever done, every charity incentive we've ever done, bar one, has been through Twitch. Right?
Yeah.
The only one that hasn't was through Bandcamp when we did Jericho.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's
and, you know,
pretty mental.
As a result of that, and all of those charity streams have raised triple figures. Every single one of them.
Yeah, that's
so
sick,
like,
man.
Clearly, it does something very effective.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like, I'm not talking about Twitch specifically on that, and I'll probably a lot of the perception from older people of Twitch is largely unchanged, but just like the general kind of, like I say, general online social aspect, probably at least becoming a lot more accepted by older generations due to the fact that this year it's been the only way people can socialize. And a lot of those people have had to learn to socialize through that, just due to the state of the world.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been an eye opener. Like, I've basically had to teach me mum and dad how to use their phones.
Yeah.
Most of this year has been spent with me going, "Hey Dan, is there any way that you can order this for us?" And it's like, right, let me show you how to do this, so I don't have to do this 9 more times. And then I show them 9 more times, and then they might get it. So that's you know, it's kind of the way that people have had to communicate through this whole year, and it's shown like how crucial it is to everyone to kind of stay connected. But the funny thing is this as well, right? For as horrendous as this lockdown has been, and for how undoubtedly it has completely changed the surface of what is now going to be the next decade.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, you know, next year, we have no idea, like, how long this is going to last. But there is every chance that this will be dealt with by this time next year.
Yeah.
Right? It's very likely that this will no longer have to be a thing that we think of by the end of next year. But as a result of that as well, the other thing that we're having to think of in current standing is that there's not really a better, that this sounds weird as shit to say, but you couldn't have timed it any better. Like, they could, any other time, any later, any earlier, and we'd have been screwed. Like, can you imagine if this came and landed last December in the middle of like the flu season? It'd have been fucking, like, the country would have been annihilated.
Yeah.
And then you look at it, you know, in the fact that now there are so many different ways for you to keep in contact with people. There are so many different ways for you to be able to communicate, like through this, like through Twitch and all of that. And the more and more that I thought about it, the more I was like, well, you know, the biggest factor of this has been not being able to, like, have that physical contact with friends and family and you know, people who you want to meet up with and things. That's kind of the thing that's been stripped, as well as jobs have been ravaged. Like, that is by far, those are the two worst things to have happened, right? Well, before the advent of the internet, if this would have happened, you would not have only had that, but you'd have also had almost no verbal communication with anybody either.
Yeah. Like, if it happened before, before everybody had phones and everybody had the internet and constant access to a way to communicate with people outside of their personal vicinity, it would be a whole different world that it would have created.
It would have been like, we can't even tell how insane it would have all, come across. But I think the thing I'm trying to say is, like, this year, I was speaking about this with Anthony last night, our guitarist, for anyone who's been chatting, not aware. But I was speaking with him like last night about all of this, and one of the things that I said was, there's only so much that you can focus on of the really heavy negative aspects of it before you just start to absolutely exhaust yourself just with the idea of it happening, never mind the reality that it is happening.
Yeah.
So the way that, like, some of us have had to... Oh, I am now Gren. What's going on, David? Good to see you, man. Thank you for dropping in. Feel free to ask any questions about, like, what it was like fucking Twitch and things like that. That's kind of our vibe right now. Ryan has just said punk. I agree.
He is Grant, I am Punk.
But yeah, like, what's it?
I said he is Grant, I am Punk.
Gren and Punk.
Oh.
Yes, Gren and Punk.
Well, you seem to be a bit...
Wi-Fi, I can't see a bloody thing.
You're actually dropping frames on my side as well. I don't think it's his Wi-Fi, I'm not gonna lie.
No, how badly are the frames dropping?
Oh, mate, you had a PowerPoint presentation. Not gonna lie.
Jesus Christ. Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can... Let's detect the drop frames. Check the health of your internet connection. My internet connection is fine. Change your ingest. Stop streaming to access these controls.
No, Lord.
See what I can do here. Oh, fucking hell. Why is it Discord? Of all the things to annihilate my bitrate, why is it Discord? I don't understand. What's the fucking...
It is really strange.
Right, well, I'll tell you what then. I'm just going to do one of these. Bear with. Can you hear everything okay?
Yeah, I can hear you dead fine. I just checked in on the stream and oh, you're back to normal, back to non-PowerPoint Daniel.
Okay, let's see if that carries on. If it does happen again, what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna hit the camera blackout and I'm just gonna put on text like donate and Streamlabs to donate to Doctors Without Borders, and I'm literally just gonna have this be audio instead of video.
Gotcha. Yeah, fair.
It's annoying, but it's might be the way to go.
Yeah, if it's got to be done, then it's got to be done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think one of the interesting things about like COVID and that for me is that personally for me, it's actually been good in a way, like not like just completely ignoring the catastrophic effect it's had on society as a whole, but just like looking at just the effect it's had on me and my life personally, it's actually been a positive, as strange as that seems. Because, well, for one thing, previous to this, I had a pretty dead-end call center job where I was working for a travel company dealing with entitled idiots constantly. And because of COVID and because of the ongoing lockdown, they furloughed me for a few months, and then in I think it was August, they were like, "Yeah, no, we can't justify keeping you on the team. Like just the cost to us is not worth it when we have no idea when it's gonna be back to normal." So they let me go, and I was out of a job for about a month, and then I've got my current job, which is still a call center job, but it's got better prospects. It's got much better pay. The previous one of the one of their kind of selling points was that they were above minimum wage, but it was like 10p above minimum wage, so it's basically minimum wage. You know what I mean?
Right.
This one pays pretty damn well, and the people that I deal with, like, put it this way, the job that I currently work in is involved in like housing, and people can get like water leaking through their roof and will be perfectly civil with me, when in the previous job people would scream and yell at me because they didn't use like a discount code like 3 years ago when they were told it would expire in a year. And like I say, they were just like super entitled. So the people I deal with are better, the pay is better, and just the company in general is so much better. So if you compound that new job with the fact that I've started this up and actually had like something to be passionate about, something to actually like work on that I want to do, which is something I've not had in a very long time, it's generally actually been a positive for me. And don't get me wrong, again, I want to put a big asterisk on that and make sure that nobody thinks I'm saying that this has been a positive in general. I'm just purely talking about the effect it's had on my life, personally.
I completely agree with. Oh, hang on, Abs is saying it. What's up, mother huggers? What's going on, Abs? Give me a
That's
minute. I'm just
goody.
very quick. Donate to contribute to our charity fundraiser. I'm gonna go over here. That.
I would also get rid of the starting soon, I'm not gonna lie.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to basically just get this in a position where I can actually see. There we go.
Gotcha.
Do the thing. Do the thing. There we go.
Do that thing.
There we are. And then we want to go down to here. There we go. And I'm just gonna, because I hate uneven. I hate left-leaning text.
Oh yeah, for sure. Always center it.
There we go. That will be nearly going. There we go. Well, that's the thing is, I was saying earlier on, again, the other night to Anthony, is that I think this has been a big growing point for a lot of people. Let me just move this over here. Is my mic just not? There we go. There we go. That's better. Yeah, I was saying this to a bunch of people, where it's like, for as tricky and as trying as this year has been in many ways for many people, you know, I also think that without this year, Stranger Than Fiction would not have happened. Without this year, we would not have started a fan group.
Yeah.
Without this year, we wouldn't have done half the things that we would have done to have gotten ourselves signed on to Unearth.
Yeah.
We are now managed by.
So,
we've met so many people, made so many new friends through doing Twitch, through meeting a lot of people. By the way, Abs, if you want to ask us anything about like the, you know, what's been going on for us over Twitch over the, you know, the past year we've been doing it and so on, please feel free to. That's kind of what our jam is at the moment. You know, I think a huge part of how I have managed to get my shit together, both, you know, both like business-wise and personally, has been down to the fact that like this entire year has forced me into a position where it's like, okay, if you can't do this now when you have nothing else to do, no other arrangements, no other things to look at, if you can't do something of value in the midst of this, you really should not be pursuing the job that you've been doing, because clearly you are not cut out for it. And I went, well, shit, I guess I better get fucking working then.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting in that way. Like, it's given you and a lot of people a lot of like messages that they want to send out, and time to put those messages in like a creative form, be it art, music, anything like that.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of people who are taking this time to just kind of pause, relax themselves, figure themselves out, and just kind of hang back, do their own jam. Abby's just asked something now. Let me know about everything I've missed, from Mungus to band merch and album releases to what's going on in your lives. I want to know everything. Okay, well, let's do that bit by bit then, I guess.
Yep.
What you've effectively missed is how lockdown has affected us. You caught the tail end of it with Ryan, but both of us have effectively said that whilst we cannot deny that on a global level, this has got implications of making the next 10 years extraordinarily hard. It has been a real turning point for both me and him in very different ways from each other, but namely in the fact that we have tried so many new things. We've done things that we wouldn't have considered doing before. Oh my god, I am so fucking sniffling like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And there's things that we've tried now that we would never have thought to try before, and Twitch was one of them. And as a result, you know, I feel like I've gotten closer with a lot of people. I feel like I've gotten much more comfortable with myself over the course of this year through going through cognitive behavioral therapy for the second time. Through writing the album, through all of it, really. It's been a very, very big learning experience. And I think which was the catalyst for that, because it was a way of me being able to kind of keep up with everybody, keep up with what everyone was doing, and, you know, letting them know, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
That was Mungus. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I think you're best for this one, right? Because, like, I have only experienced the live streams of Mungus through you.
Yeah, I think we want to get onto. I want to get onto like talking about gaming in 2020, and even though it's a release from 2018, I fully see Among Us as a 2020 game, because I don't know if you heard this, but what would you say if I told you that in November, Among Us had 5 million monthly concurrent players?
How many monthly concurrent players in November?
5 million.
That does not surprise me at all. That sounds
Now,
about right.
what would you say if
yeah.
I said that was understated by... That is 1% of the actual figure. It's actually 500 million.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
500 million.
Oh.
Basically, a 16th of the Earth's population played Among Us at some point in November.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
Exactly.
Oh.
So I say a 100% a 2020 game, because I don't think they got 500,000 monthly concurrent players in 2018.
I think they got maybe 50.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's actually mental. But yeah, like that is really something. Like I say, I do want to get onto like gaming at a bit of a later point, so I want to move on to band merch and album releases. What's the plan for Reaper in 2021?
Okay. Right. Well, we want to basically prioritize. Again, we were talking about this last night with me and Andy. This year for us is basically not setting up shop and going, okay, we've effectively been given 3/4 of a year to prove to people that we are going to do something with ourselves, and we are going to make some changes. And the biggest change for us was the move to progressive metal from thrash, because album 1 versus album 2, Birth of Chaos versus Stranger Than Fiction, are fucking worlds apart in tone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was that was half conscious and half not. But that's a discussion for really another time. The deal with it all was down to the fact that this year was like, okay, we can just make an album. We can just drop singles after the album and just start pushing that out like an actual fucking band. But on top of that as well, let's do a hilarious merch site. Let's start streaming on Twitch. Let's start playing all sorts of different video games. Let's, turn it the fuck up, and let's actually make some shit for ourselves. Let's make a name for ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's start making a community. Let's start building in people. And while that community is small, like the Purchased Merches group, you and Abby are both in, right?
Yeah.
And I want to expand it a little bit more next year, but I always want to keep it relatively small. I
Gotcha.
definitely want to keep that group to a limited size, because what you see with a lot of Facebook groups, I'll just tangent on this very briefly. What you see with a lot of Facebook groups, the fan groups have got like anywhere between 600 and like 600 and like 1,000 people, right?
Yeah.
You are not going to have that many people interact with you. That's just a Facebook page. That is
Yeah.
all that is a Facebook page. You are taking 10% of the people on your Facebook page who are more likely to interact with your page than they are with anything in the group, right? So the way I see that group, the way I see purchased merches, is effectively like the 20 to 25 people who are there for fucking everything, right?
Yeah.
And I want to have a very small amount of people and slowly develop it to be slightly bigger and slightly bigger rather than one massive push, right? I'd rather add all of those people into a smaller group. And that can be like, these are the people who are here for us from day one. These are the people who are here and they want to do stuff with us and for us because they love what we do. And I don't want that to change. I want that to be what that group is about. And that's what it's always been about for me, you know. Put it this way, New Year's Day, you guys are going to have an announcement of what we are going to be doing with you guys over the course of the next few months.
Exclusive, boys.
Exclusive stuff to you guys that only you will know about until a date.
Sick.
Right? So only you guys will get to see that stuff, because this year has effectively been us going, okay, here's what we're doing at the moment. Is everyone happy with this? And now I think we've got a feel for it.
Yeah.
I think we've started to go like, okay, we know what these guys want here. And predominantly, what you want is silly, fun, amusing content. Somewhere that everyone can kind of discuss and chill and chat and have fun and make fun of me till the ends of the fucking earth. And also, some stuff that makes you feel like all of the support that you've given to the band is worth it. You know, to feel like your time invested into us is worth it.
I would say less. I would say less for me, at least. It's less about feeling like it's worth it, because it's not like invested. Feels like we're getting something back, and it's not about that. It's not about like what we'll get back besides from the sick music. For me, it's more about feeling like it's appreciated, which we very much, or at least I very much do with you guys.
Yeah, well, that's amazing news. Like, I'm glad that people feel like that.
Yeah.
But directed to everyone, when it comes to, when I say that, like, kind of return or like feeling that your time is worth being spent, I do mean that in an appreciative way. I mean, like, are you gonna feel like the band that, you know, you're investing your time into is going to really, really care about the things that you put in? And next year for us, we've got something planned to be like, yes, categorically, you all are.
Sick.
So we've got that going on.
Yeah. I just wanted to say, as well, just while we're on the topic of Reaper, my dad just said when he was promoting Reaper to his mates, and that one of his friends likened you guys to System of a Down, which he felt like was a big compliment. And
that is, and not one that I thought we'd get.
Yeah, I've never really seen it as similar to System of a Down, but if you strip away the because a big part of like System of a Down's kind of style is the kind of absurdity of it, like, you know, almost like comedy metal in a way, like with things like Vicinity of Obscenity basically being like it's unable to take seriously. But if you strip away that aspect of it, a big part of System of a Down is like sending a conscious message. It's about like saying something that they at least feel like the world needs to hear, which I think is something that is very much prevalent in Stranger Than Fiction as well. And it's subtle if you just listen to it, but for someone who's listened to it for the first time to pick up on that, I think is really good. It shows that message is not lost in the music, you know?
That is very, very, very good to know, because a big part of what we want to do in 2021 is, and I think we've already done a good portion of that this year, because the more and more I hear from, because I was doing this covers gig the other day, right? And the drummer with this guy called John Badger, and he runs a show called Badger Fest. And a lot of people will have seen posters for that, and whether the bands are on the bill. And John is a fucking star. He's an asset to the Manchester music scene. And he's also a very good drummer. And when we were chatting between each other, he was like, that album is fucking belter. And there were people all over from that, like, 0161 charity gig. Sorry, not charity gig, Christmas gig.
Yeah.
Where people were looking towards us. And looking towards myself and going, yo, your album, like, was fantastic. It was great to hear.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I kept hearing was the word mature. It was like the step up in game from your first disc to this one is like gargantuan. And I was really, really happy hearing that, because it's like the whole point of 2021 for us now is to show that it's like we aren't kids anymore. We know what we're doing. Like, we've got some semblance of an idea of what the fuck we're doing now. And I don't feel like that's arrogant to say. I think we spent 8 to 9 years learning what not to do until we found exactly what it is that we want to do.
Yeah.
So by process of elimination, we've now found our way to this. And 2021 now for us is predominantly going to be us showing our work into that. All of 2020 was us developing the thesis.
Gotcha.
This is the experiment. And I'm really excited for it. We've got some awesome plans like lined up for it. It's going to be really interesting, I think. But honestly, I want to spend the next couple of weeks just away from looking at it, because I have grafted so fucking hard.
Yeah,
the past
absolutely.
3 to 4 months, and I am ready to stop.
Yeah, I know, definitely. Everyone's got to take a break, and I know you said that like a lot of the time you don't like taking breaks, like you not out of like feeling like a necessity to keep on grinding, but like you like to keep working and keep busy and that kind of thing. But everyone's got to take a break sometimes, you know what I mean? And it's definitely a well-earned one, I tell you that much.
Yeah, fucking right it is. Like, I don't feel arrogant in the slightest saying that, but I'm ready to start catching up on some sleep, some drinking, and some food. Because on top of all of this as well, like, holy shit, I have been eating weird. Like, I've not been eating poorly. I've been eating good food, and I've been eating like at the right times. But dude, like, streaming in particular, right? Because I stream just after I usually eat, right? I stream at 8 p.m. and I usually start eating by 7:30. That gives me roughly 25 minutes to throw something down my head immediately. And this isn't if like I come home from teaching, because like Mondays and Tuesdays are fucking brutal, right? For when I'm streaming, which is why I only do one of them. On the Tuesday, I have a student from 1 till 2 p.m. Then from 2 till 3, I've got to set up for Reaper stuff and whatever stuff that I can get done in between that time to do a post, because I'm not going to be able to fit one in before that, because from 3 till 4, I've got to get set up for my lessons. And then from 4, straight through now, with the private lessons and some of the newer students that I've got, straight the way through to about 7:45, I'm teaching again. Right? So that's 3 hours and 45 minutes back to back of constant teaching lessons, and then prior to that I get an hour maybe to like make some food, do a Reaper post, check in with people, make sure I'm responding to all of the comments, and I've got a lesson before that as well. It's an hour long.
Christ.
So I'm effectively working from 1 o'clock in the afternoon with one roughly 30-minute break, with still checking my phone to respond to people and all that, right the way through till 11 p.m.
Yeah, Jesus.
Right? That's a 10-hour run, right? With 1 half-an-hour moment for me to catch my fucking breath.
Yeah.
And that is fucked. Sorry, what?
I was just gonna say, I think a lot of people underestimate the like the actual tiringness that streaming can be.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing like solo streams, like your Pokemon stream, because while you are, you are sitting and playing a game for a couple of hours, you're also for that couple of hours constantly trying to keep people entertained, and like that is something that's not as easy as people like to make it out to be.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it is, it can be difficult.
It's like an interview, right? Like people expect like the worst person I've ever seen interviewed was Robert De Niro, right? That man can't take interviews worth shit. Because he's not going out of his way to entertain or anything. It's just like, this is what I do. Here's what I do. It's acting.
Yeah.
Like if anyone puts him on a show, he's just like, okay, yeah. So it's like, what are you doing? How are you doing today? He's like, I'm good. How are you? Like that. And he's like, okay, great. I was like, the fucking interviewer's gonna pull every single answer out of him possible
Oh,
because he
man.
does not interview well at all. So it's like, you look at someone like that, and that's kind of he acts. Well, not acts. He is, on those TV interviews and things like that. Exactly how he is in real life. And the thing is, everyone in real life for at least a couple of hours is really fucking boring to watch. Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to see some dude making his fucking breakfast. I don't care. I just do not care. Like, what do you think these people do in their fucking cars? Like, do you think they sat there throwing party poppers out the window or chucking turtle shells back at them like in fucking Mario Kart? They sat there driving a car, they're trying not to die.
Oh, man.
And it's like, sorry, what?
Breaking news. Danimal the Maranimal does not care about Robert De Niro. Confirmed. It's going to be in the next like, Kerrang article.
It's fascinating to me because he's an extraordinary actor, but I just feel like as soon as he's putting all of that energy, as soon as the stage stuff, his shoulders just drop and he just fucks off to eat an egg or something. Fascinating. But yeah, 4 hours of just... Because it's mad, right? Because in those 4 hours, I put out so much, like, energy chatting to, chat. But, like, on stage, I put out the same amount of energy in 30 minutes, and even though I'm fucked, like, 3 or 4 hours afterwards, it's not the gig that exhausts me, it's the networking.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Networking is draining.
Yeah.
Because that's what this is. It's networking. That's literally the entire job. And you'll know it as well as I do. In fact, more so now that you've started streaming far more than I do. Right? When you start that tiny little gravelly bit at the bottom of your voice, like 2.5 hours in, and it's like, I don't know if I'm making this, bro.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? How you doing? Oh, hang on. I've just realized. Oh wait, no, I did change it to just chatting because I had the option to do it.
Yeah, you're good.
How's it going on? You doing okay, mate? Basically, what we're doing at the moment, man, is me and Ryan are just kind of like having an offloading session, talking about how Twitch has affected us and what 2020 was like for us and all of that. And I was just wrapping up like how fucking hard it is.
Just popping the multi-Twitch link in it if anyone wants to provide an extra view to my side or to your side, depending on which side they're currently watching.
Do it. But it's like keeping your eyes to chat, constantly having a conversation, so constantly, having to piece these together. What's going on, Mark? Good to see you, man. There is a multi-Twitch link there that I think Mark might have missed. I'm just gonna grab that for you there. So, Mark, if you want to check that out, it is right there. That way you can see my perspective and Ryan's. If you guys want to ask any questions about how we've been piecing together our streams over the course of 2020 and what plans we've got for next year and all that, please do feel free to ask. But yeah, I mean, for yourself, like, do you empathize with a lot of that? Like, how do you feel about like having to fucking keep up with a room full of people for 4 hours?
Yeah, I mean, it can be a grind. Honestly, sometimes, like when I'm doing solo streams, I wind up forgetting that I'm streaming sometimes. Just because it helps that it's something that I'd be doing anyway. Like, focus my streams on games that I'd be playing anyway. Literally, the reason I started streaming Warzone 3 days a week is because me, my dad, my sister, and the couple of other people that we've gotten into the group since we're playing it anyway. So like that's why I kind of picked that as a game to stream. But yeah, it's tiring, like keeping that up. Especially when there's like no one in chat, it can feel like you're just talking into an empty void.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself, in its own way, can be exhausting because it feels like, you know, why am I doing this? And it can be hard to keep the motivation up. But at the end of the day, it's something that I'm doing for me. I'd be playing these games anyway. Might as well pop them up on a stream. Maybe someone will enjoy watching it. Like someday, years from now, someone will be like, "Oh, this guy played Sonic Robo Blast 2 back in 2020. Let's give that a look." You know?
Yeah. There is a point for me really where it's like, if it gets to a certain amount of viewers, it's like I am pretty much doing this for YouTube content when I get round to editing all of this, or finding an editor to make their way through all of this.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Abby's just said De Niro, De Faro, De wherever you are.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's a good one.
That's a solid meme.
It's an amazing one.
But yeah, on top of that as well, like, you're juggling the job and you stream what, like 6 nights a week off it?
5 nights a week. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Tuesdays and Sundays off. Yeah, like I say, a big part of that is that it's something I'd be doing anyway. The Thursday manga streams, it's like catching up with mates, you know what I mean? And on top of that, there's you know, anywhere between 5 and 9 other people involved in it, so it's definitely less exhausting than the solo stream where I've got to kind of carry the banter. Like especially between rounds or in the meetings, there's usually some funnies going on, largely from Cloud.
Cloud's such a fucking gem, dude. I love him. He's so funny.
The blossoming bromance between yourself and him has been a beautiful thing to watch.
It's so fucking sick. Like that's the thing about Mungus, right? And I think why so many people started playing it. And the thing that's made me very interested in it is it's almost like a social experiment. Like legit, I'm not even saying that like as a joke. That's not a bit. That's like seriously, because if you're playing through it, right, you have to learn people's tells. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like the most human element of poker, right? Whilst also having to story build if you are the imposter, but also having to like go full on fucking detective and call out people's bullshit. It's like a game that specifically trains you to be a better judge of character.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting. And I think that's why so many people started playing it, is because it's a very I use that word human again, it's a very human game. And then there's other people like Dyson and apparently Antia who just act like assholes and win the game.
Yeah, in my experience, Dyson usually doesn't get to the winning the game part, but definitely the acting stupid part. No, it's always funny though.
I've watched Dyson win 2 games in his entire time as imposter, predominantly because there's 2 ways that Dyson will play imposter. He will do it and make himself so unbelievably fucking the fella is so bloody annoying. What's the point of having a phone if it's constantly... Wait, what?
What?
What's the point of having a phone if it's constantly on silent? What? I don't know.
What fella?
What?
What fella?
Who is this? I don't know who you're talking about.
Who be fella?
Is this me? I think he might be talking about me. Give me a sec.
I can't imagine.
Talking about me. Unless he's calling Dyson and Dyson's just not answering his phone. Kick his head out.
Oh yeah, it's probably Dyson, because that would make sense.
Yeah.
Next
song is just called The Fella. just
I am the fella.
New phone. Abby just says she gets super aggressive as imposter, and it's like, yeah.
She gets super aggressive as crewmate as well.
She does. But yeah, the thing is, right, Abs, right, and this is the reason why I almost always like try to vote you off, is because you are so unbelievably defensive the second anyone asks you, and you immediately turn to go, "Well, I'm sus of you then." And it's like that's a typical like imposter thing to do. So as soon as I hear it, I'm just like, "Well, I mean, it's not a backup, so I'm assuming it's abs, and I've got nothing else to go after."
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's been a really interesting experience playing that with a lot of different people, and I've met so many cool folks through those. The Titan sequel is just going to be called The Fella, and
Yeah.
it says couldn't agree more.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's what's it called? You know, whenever I end up with it, like I am a disturbingly good imposter to the point where it affects my crewmate ability.
Oh man, tell me about
Oh man, there are three tells.
it. I've still got Cloud's tell stored in the back of my head, man, and I'm not gonna tell him what it is until I actually catch him with it.
Yeah. Good man.
Yeah.
It froze when you said literally all of the stuff addressed to me. Alright, abs, don't worry, it wasn't anything like critical. It's just what we were saying was whenever your crewmate, if anyone accuses you, and whenever you're imposter, if anyone accuses you, you immediately go, "Well, I'm sus of you because it could have been any of these things," and then you come up with a lot of other things. Because you're so aggressive, we're just immediately like, "Well, that seems very overly aggressive. We're just gonna have to vote out Abby." And then it's immediately just not you, like 90% of the time.
Yeah. It's definitely been super interesting to get into.
It has been.
Like you say, you know, meeting so many new people and just like getting close to so many new people. Like, it's funny this year. Like, the people that I'm closest to has changed so much. Like, while you were at the start of the year, you know, you were a good friend and someone that I could definitely confide in, but through like everything, through the amount I've been like communicating with you through streaming and stuff like that, and through the Reaper stuff, you've genuinely become one of my closest friends, and that is not something I would have ever expected to happen at the start of the year.
Yeah, same man. Like it's that is very much reciprocated in every element of what you said. And I think a lot of it's just come down to like it's weird. It's almost come down to a necessity, hasn't it? Really, because you and I have just been like, well, do you want to just make shit together? And we both just kind of went,
Yeah, let's do
it, and we just fucking just kind of did.
I know, man. It's fantastic.
It's been a lot of fun as well. Like play, I have not played this much. I have not played this many games in so long. The last time I played games anyway nearly as much as this was when I got Fighters like a year and a half, like I think 2 years ago now for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Right? And you know that was that I played that for about 2.5 to 3 months just constantly, and then I fell off the wagon again because I started doing more music. Now, because I do this exclusively, well, not exclusively, but because I do this in good part to drive attraction towards the band from different communities, people like, you know, Ant here, who I've met through this, who is a fucking lovely fella. You know, I've met people like him through this. I've met other people, you know, who've come through the Twitch chat just to find our way through here and all that. And because of all these people who've just kind of fell into the chat, I feel like it's like I've gotten to know like a little circle of people relatively well. Pretty much entirely because we play shit online for fun.
Yeah.
And it's been a very interesting development.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like, I mean, not even I think, 100%. I would not be streaming if Fall Guys hadn't come out, and if I didn't do the Fall Guys Friday thing with you through September. Because prior to that, like, I was so uncomfortable with my voice, like, with recording it and stuff like that, like, it's, even though funnily enough, I did actually try streaming once, like, about, it was literally like 3 or 4 years ago, back when I used to play Rocket League regularly, and I tried streaming that a couple of times, but it just, like, was not for me at the time. And then, like, when Fall Guys Friday happened through September, and, like, I was getting in on that with you, I was like, Yeah, I'm enjoying the hell out of this. Like, appreciate it, Ant. Yeah, I was like enjoying the hell out of it, and then going through the 12-hour Omega stream. That was what really got me like, oh yeah, I can properly do this, because that was like my first proper stream. Was like I say, the Rocket League streams back then were basically just test streams. So my first proper stream was, well, for me, a 14-hour stream through 3 different games, and I was living for it, man. Like I say, literally, I continued going after midnight just because I was just like, I'm just enjoying it, man. I want to keep going.
Yeah, that's fair. I got to the 11th hour and I was lagging.
I know, man. I remember it had like one. I can't even. The worst part is I can't remember what it actually was, but it had one of my favorite you moments in Among Us, and because I hadn't had my Twitch set up to save the VODs, I can't like revisit it. It's lost to the ether, and it makes me so sad.
Let me think of what that was, because I was so fucking tired.
Exactly,
I'm not
man.
sure. I don't think I was imposter in that round. I think I might have been.
I think it was like just the biggest crew throw, but it was just the funniest thing.
Ryan, that was the stream. That was the moment. Right, I'm gonna explain this to everyone in chat because I asked Ryan to swear that he'd never clip this.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I'll remember it.
Yeah. So let me set the scene for you. Right. In this 12-hour Omega stream that me and Ryan did, right? And it was to finish off September, right?
Yeah.
We were both doing the first impressions on Crash Bandicoot 4, and then we moved over to the computer to do a little mini break before we then went over to Ryan, who was exclusively streaming from his place to do Among Us, because Among Us just did not work on my laptop. Yeah. And I gave him our card so that when he was streaming, he could basically see that there was the Reaper card that I'd spent ages on, and it didn't end up even going anywhere because Discord on this laptop eats shit. I'm not. I go over there to do this, right? And we are on 3 people left, and it's me, Ryan, and Elliot, our bassist. And we're running over to the right of medbay, and it's just us 3 and one sorry, no, it's 4 of us.
4 of us, yeah.
Elliot kills and stack kills on top of me and Ryan, right? And I was thinking, okay, let's let everyone kind of just do their business between the 2 of them, and then I'll kind of pitch in my idea here. Now, my original fucking idea, right? My original plan was to go off on this tangent saying that it was Ryan, right? To then see if Elliot voted early, and then vote and go, right, okay, Elliot, have you voted? Yeah, all right, 6 votes, Elliot. Because it would have been so funny, right? Because I was trying to bait him to vote in early. I was like, you haven't even heard like my explanation. You've just gone in for it, and it worked. Only one problem. I went in so hard on the story, I actually convinced myself it was Ryan. A big break by saying the following. I went, Elliot, it's Ryan. He went, how'd you know? And I went, because Ryan has 3 tells, right? He always stays very clear away from the body, so he probably is venting around from the map. He's always very much kind of just like, yeah, I understand why you've got to be doing that. Every single time he's imposter, he does that when he's crewmate, by the way. Yeah. And then afterwards, I was like, you know, and on top of that as well, all of the stories that he says match up perfectly whenever he is imposter, just because his patience in killing people is extremely slow, and this round's lasted too long. And I was going on this huge monologue, and I was like, it has to be Ryan. Yeah. We fucking got him, lad. And I voted, and Ryan went, wasn't me though, was it? And Elliot just went, ladies and gentlemen, we've got him. And I sat for 2 minutes in silence.
Bear in mind, like, Dan's paraphrasing what he said there. It was like a full-on speech from a movie. Like, this monologue was genuinely impressive. The only problem being it was all based on completely incorrect information.
Yeah. If all of this was correct, and I'd have directed that at Elliot, it would have been the most god tier play on the planet, right? So my options were one of 3. The first one was my actual initial plan for me to go, hey, let's vote Elliot straight after I've done this massive fucking like villains monologue, and then just go, mate, I'm an idiot, which basically means everything I've just said is probably wrong, and it was, which is why the running joke for me now is if I'm 100% sus of someone, they're innocent.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's gotten to the point, it's not even a joke anymore. Like, it's just a good strat.
Like 3 or 4 times, genuinely, you have said it's 100% this person, and every time it's been wrong.
Yeah, and I've said that exclusively to say I'm going to clear them because there's a part of me that's saying I absolutely know it's them. And because I'm 100% sus of them, it's definitely not them because I'm always wrong.
It's
and
fantastic.
It's honestly, right, Ryan, there have been 2 moments, and I think you can vouch for this, right, where I've genuinely gone, I'm 100% sus of Cloud, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be the other guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote for the other guy, knowing full well that my guess is probably wrong, and I've gotten it genuinely correct.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's so fucking stupid. But, yeah, that has been very interesting. But, yeah, plans for next year is basically the following. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the 3 p. What? Why did my microphone just? Never mind. Okay, I'm back. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the 3 p.m. till 4 p.m. Christmas Eve raffle on Instagram Live. When that is done, I will then be going over to do whatever the fuck I want to do for the next couple of days or weeks or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And then basically from Christmas Eve afternoon right the way through till probably mid-January when I start teaching again, I will not be streaming. The only thing that I might stream, and this is if I get the time and if I want to, is I'm going to catch up the last save file and the most recent save file on Pokemon Gold up to the point that I was at last time when I'd last streamed. I'm going to get everyone up to the right level, and I may do like an Omega stream on one day where we beat the Elite Four on the Pokemon Gold Nuzlocke. That is it until either mid-Jan or early February. I don't know yet. But I am taking the next couple of weeks off to catch up on the flight pre-orders, which I'm now going to have to announce basically tomorrow and say, unfortunately, I have said to a couple of, oh, it's going to be so empty. Dude, I know. That comes back. It's going to be sick. But, yeah. And do us a favor, man, right? I'm going to find you on Facebook, and then I'm going to add you, and I'm going to put you into the purchase merchants chat, because you're such a fucking dude.
He's a big, like, supporter of the stream as well, isn't he? Like, it shows up on most of the streams that I show up for as well, so...
You've basically been in more or less every single stream, even the ones where you're not able to make, just to specifically say, yo, I'm not able to make this one, but go to the top and to say gaming.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
It's fantastic.
But yeah, I do have to give a quick heads up to both you, Ryan, and to you, Anthony. Unfortunately, because of the current tier restrictions and because of things starting to escalate with Royal Mail and issues with that, I was hoping to have all of the pre-orders dispatched before New Year's Eve for the people who bought them within the first couple of days for the pre-orders. I am not going to be able to do that because Royal Mail is so unreliable right now, and I do not want to basically make the promise of doing all that and then a week later going, hi guys, so I know it's a day before New Year's Eve and I say that it'd be dispatched, but nah, I'm not going to fucking do that. So just as a heads up, that is almost definitely not going to happen. But
no worries.
I'm going to get them both. I've got the shirts are on the way. It's the card wallet that's the problem, right? But on top of that as well, because of Christmas plans and because David from Dakara is also mixing it, and because he's been doing his 10 days of Dakmas thing.
Oh yeah.
He is. We just don't want to rush the cover that we're working on, right?
Yeah.
Which I said we'd announce on Monday, and then all the shit with the house came up. So ultimately, a good part of this as well, I'll be very honest, is down to the fact that I have worked myself so fucking stupid that I'm probably going to mess something up if I carry on doing what I'm doing right now, and I don't want to screw the product up down to the fact that I am honestly exhausted.
Yeah. Go on, take all the time it takes.
Yeah, it's just. I think a big part of next year, the kind of New Year's resolution is to temper my expectations a little bit more. And to be like, you know what? People here understand. 9 times. Oh, by the way, Dan, did you say your bassist was called Elliot? Yes, his name's Elliot Kyriakides.
Or Elliot Greek Boy.
Elliot Greek Boy is also one. But yeah, it's just, you know, it's the time of year now for me where I need to take time away, and the fact that I'm streaming on Christmas Eve, honestly, is like the last part of 2020 going, all right, let's get this graft done.
Yeah.
So I am going to be spending 1 or 2 days before New Year's Eve and after Boxing Day. I'm going to spend 1 day doing all the catch up that I need to do for 2021. And then on New Year's Day, I'll be making an announcement in the Purchase to Merches chat for some exclusive streams. And then I'm taking 2 weeks off.
Yeah, man. Sounds like a good plan.
What about you, man? What's going to be going on with you?
I mean, I'm also going to be taking a break after this. After this, I'll be hopping into some Warzone with the fam again, just for a kind of little, end of year stream. Because after that, I'm also going to be taking a break up until January. Won't be as long. It'll probably be kind of first or second week of January that I hop back into it. But definitely use some time off for sure. Through next year, I'm planning to get more into the kind of content side of it. Maybe even like start actually editing the videos, because right now I'm just like exporting them to YouTube straight from Twitch. It's a lot easier, but it's literally just a direct VOD. And I would like to get into editing the videos. Granted, on top of job, family, and the stream itself, I don't know if I'll have the time to actually go back through those and edit and that kind of thing. But it's definitely something I'd like to get into.
Well, if anyone in chat knows any good editors or any good video editors,
I wouldn't feel comfortable asking anyone to do that without pay, and it's definitely not within my means to pay for editing content that right now I'm getting basically zero return on.
That's very fair, actually. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to, unless I start actually getting paid for the videos, I would rather do it myself, basically. Same reason I've done this, like designing my overlay and that kind of thing myself, and same reason that I don't want to get into merch yet. Kaz was talking to me about starting merch, and I'm just like, basically nobody would buy it, so it's really not worth me getting into that, because I would definitely pay someone for it.
I'm assuming when you say nobody would buy it, you mean not very many people would buy it, as there aren't many people who actively engage in the stuff that you do. But straight up, dude, I know everyone in this chat in some fashion or some form would get a shit from you.
I mean, like I say, maybe 4 or 5 people would buy it, like I was saying. Yeah, but I would, Sav would, Dan would, and I'm like, that's 3 people, and I know like 2 or 3 more who would probably get into it.
It makes sense, man. You need to develop a channel and more of a social media presence before that stuff really comes into the peripheral. And it's not like band merch, where it's like, a big part of kind of pushing out. I know someone who does sick editing for look for Johnny Film. Oh, I may bother you about that. But yeah, it's predominantly down to the fact that it's just like we need to find ways to continue to build this. I am definitely going to start looking into getting someone to edit our stuff, because it's just more YouTube content for the band.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's an advertisement investment.
Yeah, for sure.
So, it makes
on my side, I don't have a base community that's worth it. I have friends who would buy it and would wear it, and it's much appreciated. But in terms of, I don't have a stream community. I have a couple of people who hop in and that kind of thing. So I would definitely I would definitely need to build up the stream and gain an actual kind of stream community before I think it will be worth starting merch. Like you say, it's very different from band merch. Even if I was getting the same viewers that you would, it would not be worth me starting merch because you also have, you know, a 1,000, 2,000 like Facebook page that's dedicated solely to your band who would buy it.
Yeah, our merch is band merch. It's not
stream merch. Exactly.
Which makes fuck all sense for even us to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It makes sense, man. A lot of it's just kind of building community, but I absolutely believe that you can build that, and I think both of us can.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's just going to take some graft and some figuring out and some tweaking on some certain ideas. Honest to God, I did not think that this Pokemon Nuzlocke would do anywhere near as well as it did.
Yeah.
I constantly, at peak, get between 15 and 17 viewers in on chat, which is not bad at all, because that's not 15 people sat in chat. That's 15, 17 people who are in a chat at one moment.
Yeah.
That's when I go back and check through streams, there were some of them where it's had triple-digit people passing through the stream.
Oh damn!
It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can keep an active community on here. But my priority next year, man, is to finally get some of this latent material that we've been kind of hanging on for a little while out there. There's a song straight up that people will have seen us that we were recording in some fashion. We didn't show them what it was in February, right? February of last year, right?
Yeah.
We have a master for this. We've got the master track for this tune and have done since Feb of 2020, right? And we've just not released it.
Jesus.
This is, by the way, this isn't a demo thing. We recorded this in the Motor Museum. It has the same production value as Death Games.
Yeah.
And it's just sat there doing nothing.
Jeez.
So I'm excited to finally have, some of this stuff being released over to the public in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I think when you take a break, when you come back, your viewers will be low for a while. They will. They categorically will. I completely agree. But mate, honestly, I am developing a cold, I think now.
Ooh.
I think I'm going to start running myself down.
I
think I'm legitimately going to start running myself down.
Yeah.
And I need a couple weeks to just not think about this stuff and to catch up on some sleep, to have a fucking couple of drinks, to not worry about drills going off at the bottom of the fucking house.
Yeah. I feel that.
Well,
yeah,
it is what it is. 2020 has. Sorry, Ryan. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, it does sound like we're going into kind of a wrap up thing, but I did want to talk about just gaming in general and 2020, kind of what it's like, what you've liked about gaming in 2020, what you've disliked, that kind of thing. Do you want to riff on that a bit? Talk about favorite games of the year?
Oh, absolutely. I could not tell you a single current release that hasn't come out this year. I know of almost no AAA releases that have come out this year.
Crash Bandicoot 4.
With the exception of Crash Bandicoot. That's why I said almost, because it's the only I'm actually aware of that's a AAA title that has come out this year that has done, the rounds.
Yeah.
Let me just double check this. Turned off my sound, but I've got live captions on. Wondering if that will understand the Scouse accent. You will not.
Absolutely not. Yeah, no chance. No chance in hell.
It might be low, but at the same time, your loyal viewers will always hype you back up. Absolutely. And that's the thing is, this is the cool thing about Twitch is predominantly the people in my chat are either new folks who are coming through just to check on the game and see how things are going, or the people from the Purchased Merches chat who I know are going to show up to the streams if they're available.
Yeah.
So, Twitch is effectively a fan group live streaming service for us.
Yeah.
That's how we're looking at this. But yeah, gaming this year for me has been, again, I have no context for current releases outside of Fall Guys and Among Us, which have, been a lot of fun to do with Ryan and the crew, and Among Us has been a huge part of me learning, and meeting up with new people and starting to, have some fun with folks. But honestly, outside of Twitch and the stuff that I've done for you guys, I don't really play games very much, so I wouldn't know. Ryan, you can absolutely take this question better than I can.
Yeah, like, honestly, basically, my main thing about gaming this year is it has been largely defined by 4 games. 3 of which you've just mentioned there, that were a big part, that were the Omega stream that we did. Crash 4, Fall Guys, and Among Us, which all came out at very interesting times, I think. I mean, they came out at interesting times, because, it was the middle of the COVID lockdown. But I think that in a large way helped a lot of the success of those games. With Among Us especially, it didn't come out then, but like it got popular then, and I think, again, just kind of going back to lockdown, I think that helped Among Us hit the popularity at the time that it did. And honestly, their PR guys, who are possibly also part of the dev team, because there's like 3 or 4 people in that team, it did a fantastic job in terms of timing the time that they got that onto like big streamers and big YouTubers, because that's what really hit it off. And it came out to a bunch of people who were, a like world of people who were like, I can't see my friends right now. I need to socialize with them somehow. This game came out, and it's a very social game. It's a social deduction game. We could get onto that and have some fantastic tons of fun with it. So I think, honestly, round of applause to whoever had the idea to send out the codes to streamers at that time, because it was the perfect storm for Among Us, which, like I say, elevated it from probably 500 people playing at any time at most to 500 million people playing in November.
Yeah, that is not an exaggeration, by the way. Ryan caught me with that earlier on.
Yeah, that's the monthly concurrent players for Among Us in November. They peaked at 500 million players, which played in November, which is absurd.
Yes, it is. It is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
You said there was a 4th game outside of Fall Guys, Crash, and Among Us. What was the 4th game?
The 4th is actually Warzone, Call of Duty's Battle Royale, and that's largely because I got into it with my family, with my dad and my sister. Like, we started playing it. I think around about when I started streaming, but I wasn't streaming it at first. In fact, no, we probably started playing it like earlier on, because I think it was like June or July that we started playing, somewhere around there. But we've always kind of struggled to find games that we can play together, and we've all, bless you, we've all kind of been fans of FPS and that, and we just got into Warzone. Now, like I say, at the time I wasn't streaming it, but a couple of months ago I was like, okay, let's see if my PC can handle it. I tried streaming it, and it actually worked perfectly fine. So I was just like, I'm playing this game 3 times a week anyway for a few hours in the evening. I might as well start streaming it.
Very fair.
It's been really good to get into that with the family, and with playing that with Tyler, Mike, and Steve, the I Have No Words and I'm a Stream crew.
Great name.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But yeah, it's been so much fun, getting into that with people, even if it's at times not fun because of the game. Again, it's an additional method of socializing, and I think for a lot of games, that social aspect has really helped them this year, which brings me on to Fall Guys, because again, the start of me playing Fall Guys and the start of me streaming was your September streams. So I through September I I was kind of guesting on Dan's Fall Guys Friday streams. Just to kind of keep things going, keep things fun and interesting, and that was what really got me wanting to start streaming, was largely that Fall Guys Friday. And again, I think that came out at the perfect time for it, because it was another way of socializing for people in a world that is preventing them from socializing in the ways that they would previously. So yeah, it's been super interesting, and I think Crash 4, obviously being a single player game, wouldn't have been helped by that aspect of it. But I think in a time when a lot of people, especially people our age, are struggling with an ever-changing world, a world that is almost like gone to cataclysmic proportions, I think Crash 4 was kind of a return to the childhood for us, which I think helped that game out a lot. And that's not to understate. Exactly. That's not to understate the quality of the game, because the game is fantastic to play, not so much to complete, but to play in general, it is a wonderful, wonderful game.
It is extraordinary fun. I think I didn't actually mention Pokemon earlier on. The resurgence in Pokemon, especially considering Nuzlocke have started to gain so much traction, is extraordinarily lucky, because I started doing it before anyone started noticing that shit, Phil.
Oh man.
I literally did it off the back of Jaden Animations' Nuzlocke herself, and I was like, I always do these on my own. I didn't really think anyone would be interested in watching one happen, outside of like major YouTubers. And then, you know, the animation crew on YouTube started developing, because that just took such a huge resurgence after having spent so long on YouTube without any major animators, because of the way in which the algorithm would reward certain people for making those animations. You know, making 10-minute long animations is kind of a pain in the fucking ass now. But they found ways around it. And when that animation crew, like Jane Animation, Odd Ones Out, and more people like that, started coming through, you know, more animated sketches that people started to enjoy started happening, and then that came out with the Pokemon crowd, and it did so fucking well. And then seeing through all of that, I was like, well, you know what, let's give this a go. And honestly, despite the fact that it has had one or two moments in it that has made me question my very fucking being, the grinding streams after finding like the next team, we got so many people through that, just because I just started talking about stuff about, you know, political inclinations that I have, you know, the whole deal with feminism, when everything would happen with the Black Lives Matter movement, all of these things, because I had fucking like 16 to 20 hours of dead space to fill. Wasn't gonna grind it off screen. I don't have fucking time for that. I do not have the time for that, because then it's like, okay, well, what else am I then going to stream? Okay, that's already going to take another 4 hours out of every single other one of the days that I've got. Do I have spare time to do the rest? Do I shite? So it's like, okay, well, I've got to do that instead. And as a result, then I was like just chilling and playing one of my favorite games with a bunch of people who I really like, and a crowd of people who are unbelievably lovely and wonderfully warm, and have supported the band through a lot of things. You know, with the merch site going up this year, with the new album having come out, and all of these other things. To the point now where it's like those few streams where I was just sat there, just erasing the Cian Wood City water population. Those were the streams I enjoyed the most this year. Was just me vibing with chat and just, you know, seeing what people think about things. It was fun.
You mean it was some Fall Guys Friday? I thought that was your favorite.
My favorite on my own. My favorite. my favorite. Honest to God, my favorite stream with you, like ever, was after was the Among Us stream prior to the legend, the man himself. Had the most fun during Nuzlocke. Sorry, you did.
Oh yeah, go.
But yeah, had the most fun during Nuzlocke, just vibing, dude. Fucking same. Yeah. It was like of all the solo streams, that one's been the most fun to do. Well, the most fun I've had like on stream with other people was probably me and Ryan playing with Savon 4 guys. That was hysterical.
Oh, it was a wonderful thing. I'm so glad we finally got Sav on stream, man. Because that boy is a content machine. I absolutely love him to death.
Beast. I'm just gonna very quickly do something because she was like, "You look handsome today." I'm like, "Thank you, Kaz." Thank you, Kaz. And this is it. This is what I look like. 1 second. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this.
I'm usually a whole entire day.
I'm gonna do this. Wait, no, never mind. That is the camera block out. There's me.
Yep. You turn into a robot.
There's me, baby. There's me, mate. Okay, and off it goes so that it doesn't erase my frames. Right, yeah, I think that's more or less the jam. Cheese on toast and rum and coke. Dude, I am so with you. I am on my way to make same.
It's an absolute shout.
I have got to go and eat something because I am starving. I've got to get myself, like, showered up and things because I am absolutely hanging. And then 9 p.m. I am going to go and watch Devin Townsend doing an acoustic live stream before Christmas.
Oh,
I'm going to go and hope he plays Key. And if he doesn't play Key, I'm going to cry. And if he plays Key, I'm going to cry harder. And in between that, I'm going to go get a fucking drink and just hang out and chill for the evening. An evening that I have not had for myself in a very long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna take a quick break, like 20 minutes, and just gonna go off stream, go grab a drink and that kind of thing, and then we're gonna be hopping into some looks like Warzone duos with Dad, Elias the Swift, possibly trios if I'm gonna bug my sister and just be like, oh, you come play, but if not, then it'll just be some duos, and then we'll just vibe for the rest of the night.
That is the plan.
So yeah, that's from 8 p.m. on twitch.tv/PsychoSerix.
A lot of that on our end got unfortunately erased by someone who came in with XX Simplord XX Raw XD with the funny Robot Man redemption saying I sim for Dan 6 times.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sorry, 7 times.
Yeah. That's fair.
But yeah. Yeah, if any of you guys are looking for a stream to go and hit up Ryan's stream. That's twitch.tv/PsychoSerix. He's going to be doing Warzone. And in the meantime, I am going to go and take a Lemsip, some paracetamol, and clean up because I feel ratty. And I guess for Twitch, oh, by the way, if anyone's free, tomorrow, 3 p.m. on Facebook, I'll be doing a similar thing with this, but specifically for Reaper through Instagram Live. And we're going to be doing the raffle. So if you guys want to grab yourself the pre-orders, it is on purchasemerches.com, limited edition flight bundle. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get them out in time for New Year, but as soon as the card wallets land, as soon as we can get everything bent on, and as soon as the cover that we've got ready is finished, we will be dropping that. And I swear to God, I will announce the name of the cover tomorrow. So, I'll see you guys there.
I already know it because I'm an exclusive boy.
Fuck yeah. 3 p.m. on Instagram.com/OfficialReaperUK. And if you guys are free, head over to Ryan's stream in a sec.
Yeah, from
Twitch,
8 o'clock.
I will see you guys in 2021.
It's been extremely fun going through like streams with you and like calling like the end to the year with you is just it's so poetic because like I say, it's literally you that got me started on streaming. So like finishing it up with a little PsychoBeep week felt so fitting. And just for anyone who doesn't know, we actually raised between us £200 for Doctors Without Borders, which we are going to be donating during AGDQ 2021 at about 8:30 or 8:30 p.m. GMT on Wednesday, the 8th of January, because that's when they're doing their crash run. So it was through our Crashathon little like race thing. Well, I say little, but it was not little at all because it spanned 4 days.
I'm so pissed. I lost it by 1 fucking level.
I know, dude. It was a very close one. I still think you are the spiritual winner of it, but I am the literal winner in the literal purchased merch in the worch.
Hard agree. All right, man. I will catch you guys next year. If you don't see me in the stream tomorrow, have yourselves a great Christmas.
Yeah.
And if you don't hear from me, which you will, you absolutely fucking will. I am going to be taking pretty much 2 weeks off at the beginning of January after I do our fan group announcement on New Year's Day. Once that is done, I will be doing the absolute minimum amount of work that I could possibly fucking do, right? For the first 2 weeks of January. Whatever's after me then, I will be
Yep.
taking off. So you guys look after yourselves. Go over to Ryan's stream for 8 p.m. GMT, and I will see you guys later.
Everybody buy merch.
Bye!
Bye merch.